Over the past 100+ years, Sand Islanders supplemented their diets with either natural fruits or planted trees and vegetables that would grow in the sandy soil. Apples, berries, potatoes, rutabagas, etc. were cultivated there. Due to a cooler climate on the island, the season ran as much as 2 weeks later than on the mainland. Occasionally, a wild patch of berries or a hazelnut or cherry tree would be discovered and exploited. We did have wild onions growing in our yard in East Bay and wild mint growing at Anderson's at Shaw Point. Whenever we had lamb, I would pick the mint to make a sauce. Dahl created map. Carl O. Dahl picking cranberries in Noring's Field on Sand Island, October 1974. Cranberries like marshy soil, and this field was near the northern marsh on the island. This small patch is now gone. Cranberries grew in abundance in this marsh in the early 1900s. Dahl family photo. Howard Palm left and Martin Leake Wright picked blueberries at the lighthouse. The red berries between them are not edible. I believe they are the fruit of a mountain ash tree. The property in front of the lighthouse previously had low bush blueberries. With a now well-maintained lawn, the property no longer supports these bushes. The only blueberries on the island grew there. Dahl family photo. This apple tree grows at Shaw Point. The apples didn't ripen until late October when all the summer residents were off the island. There were several small apple orchards on the island. The Hansons, Moes, Norings, and Hills had small orchards. None of these orchards had more than 10 trees or so. Dahl family photo. Carl E. Dahl examines an adult asparagus bush in a Shaw Point field. We never harvested asparagus when we were young, but it did grow in that area. Dahl family photo. Bob Dahl picking apples in Noring's Field, October 1974. All the apple trees in Noring's Field had been destroyed over time by wild bears who swam to the island in the fall to harvest the fruit. The weak-limbed trees snapped under the weight of the bears. Dahl family photo. Brothers Mel and Carl Dahl pose before heading to Moose to pick blackberries. They will be joined by their sister, Bessie Palm, for a pleasant hour or so harvesting the succulent fruit. The patch was planted just to the left of the buildings on the far back right in East Bay, Sand Island. Dahl family photo. Carl, Bessie, and Mel show the fruits of their labor from picking blackberries in the Moe field. Dahl family photo. Raspberries grew alongside the Lawfield home on Sand Island. Sister Sharon tells the story that in later years, after the Lawfields had left the island, certain adults would tell us children that snakes lived in the raspberry bushes to try to keep us from picking the berries before they could. That didn't really work. Pictured are Magnus and Mabel Dahl Lawfield, Dad's sister, at the Lawfields' 1930s home on Sand Island. Dahl family photo, PHS. The lone cherry tree on the island grew to the left front of the Savona cottage at Shaw Point. We would pick the cherries in the late summer and maybe get 1 or 2 pies out of our harvest. The tree was never maintained, so there wasn't ever an abundance of cherries. Dahl family photo. Bob Dahl, October 1998. Not unlike a bear, he climbed an apple tree at the Norings to get at the higher apples. Dahl family photo. A visiting black bear walks the beach in West Bay, Sand Island, looking for apples. Jeff Peters photo. Mary Hewlings Rice, Martha Madsen Dahl, and Martha Hewlings Kimmer display some of the fruits of their labors along the East Bay Road. A lengthy description of this road is in The Islander, A Stroll Along the East Bay Road. Mary Hewlings Rice family photo, BHA. Fred Hansen, grandfather, standing in front of one of the apple trees he had planted a year or so earlier. This is a colorized black and white photo taken in the early 1900s. Doll family photo, BHA. This photo is titled Picking Strawberries in Moe's Field, Kirkin 1920. Doll family photo, BHA. Martha Hewlings Kimmer showing off the handful of raspberries she picked just below the Anderson's yard at Shaw Point, sometime in the early 1950s. Hewlings' dock is in background. Mary Hewling Rice family photos, BHA. Bowl of cherries on the back porch of Hewlings' kitchen, Shaw Point, Sand Island. The kitchen was used for 100 years by the Shaws, Hills, Hewlings, Rices, Kimmers, and other descendants. The bell is from the Old Herring King, a fish tug once owned by my great-grandfather Jacob Johnson. Mary Hewlings Rice family photo, BHA. From Daisy Yinch Diary, Tuesday, August 21st, 56. 56 degrees this morning and barometer going toward change. Sharon Dahl brought us a nice lot of blueberries, the first homegrown ones this year. Season is late and cold. Closed 2 east bedrooms and did sundry things toward going home. Have a nice 6-pound trout to cook tomorrow. We intend to boil it. Daisy Yinch Diary, BHA.